Hey, BookTube, Sean here. It's been a while. I think December 3rd was my last video. It is now January 23rd. So I wanted to do a video and just kind of talk about what's been going on, what's coming up, and what some of my goals are for the year, and kind of get back into the swing of things. So my last video was a book haul, and I just think I just kind of got burnt out. I got demotivated and just needed to take a break, needed to take a breather, reassess things. And then when the turn of the year hit, I'm now directing a play, 39 Steps, based off of the Alfred Hitchcock movie. And yeah, that's been keeping me busy for the past couple of weeks. So I haven't even read much. Like, I didn't even read much for the last part of the year. I got to 50 books for the year, and I just kind of decreased my Goodreads goal to that and let it be. I just focused on other things, and I don't know. Like I said, I just kind of got burnt out. But I want to kind of come back and then start making videos again, and start talking about books again. And I even am considering adding another element to my channel. I've been doing a lot of cross stitch, and I think I might I'm actually gonna film one and see what I think of it, but I might add a floss tube element to my channel. It'll still be on this channel, but I will label them floss tube, so booktube viewers who are only interested in bookish content can, easily ignore the ones that'll be cross stitch. But yeah, I'm thinking I kind of want to, for the same reason I joined the booktube community. It's a hobby I enjoy, and I don't have many people to share it with and talk to about it. So I want to become, kind of part of a community that does that. So anyway, that's kind of what's been going on. I honestly even considered just stopping the channel and just posting content on social media, Instagram and Twitter, but I'm horrible with posting on social media. I really am. I'm trying. I want to get better at doing it, but I scroll through social media a lot, but I'm just horrible at posting. But I have gotten a few. I wasn't even buying a lot of books, but I have gotten a few from publishers that I have not shared with you, and I need to. They're kind enough to send me the books. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten to reading any of them, for the reasons, but I do need to share them with you. They're kind enough to send them to me so that I can let my viewers know about them, and I need to do that. And I'm sorry for the shakiness. My office my desk is kind of unusable right now. I just got shit piled up, and I got to move too much shit around to make it viable for me to film in my normal or old location. So I am perched tripod on top of my monitor of my laptop on my lap, and it's shaky. It's not. Last time it was because I needed my heat pad. That's not the case this time. But yeah, so that's the shaky. I'm trying to keep it to a minimum, but anytime I move. So let's first get into some books that I have gotten from publishers. So the first one, most of these are from Flame Tree Press. The first one, and I might have shown this one on my last video, but I don't think so. I think I got it after that video. But this is Junction by Daniel M. Benson. I know I shared this on my Instagram. This comes out this month. It might be out because I don't have a specific date, but it says January 2019. This is a science fiction book, and there's a wormhole in New Guinea, and while much isn't known, one thing is for sure. On the other side is a planet similar to ours, with a habitat suitable for life. Japanese nature show host Daisuke Matsumori will be one of the first to visit Junction, a patchwork planet of competing alien ecosystems. But his exploratory party crashes in the wilderness, and members continue to die. What is causing these deaths? At first, it seems clear that it must be an alien predator or the hazardous landscape. But Daisuke starts to wonder whether human politics might be more deadly than alien biology. And that was the only one I got from the list that they sent me in December. It might have been November. I don't remember. But that's the one that sounded interesting to me, and I had them send it along. Another book that was a surprise just showed up in my mailbox, but I appreciate it. And it is Smoke and Summons by Claire N. Holmberg, and she is the writer of the Paper Magician trilogy, which I might have the entire trilogy on my Kindle. I know I have Paper Magician. And I did actually start reading it at one point before I ever started BookTube, and it seemed interesting, and I just never got back to it. But this is the start, I think the start of a new series, rather than a standalone. Here's the... Yeah, let me see if the sell sheet has the description. Yeah, okay, it does. Okay, set in a captivating world of monsters and magic where humans play host to ancient spirits, Smoke and Summons is the first book in a thrilling new fantasy series by Charlie N. Holmberg. As a human vessel for an ancient spirit, Sandis lives no ordinary life. At the command of her master, she can be transformed against her will into his weapon, a raging monster summoned to do his bidding. Unlike other vessels, Sandis can host extremely powerful spirits, but hosting such creatures can be fatal. To stay alive, she must run, and in a city fueled by smoke and corruption, she finds a surprising ally. A cunning thief for hire, Roan owns a rare device that grants him immortality for 1 minute every day. Take a breath, Sean. A unique advantage that will come in handy in Sandis' fight for freedom. But Sandis' master knows how powerful she is. He's determined to get her back, and he has the power to find her wherever she runs. Now, to outwit her pursuers, Sandis must put all her trust in Roan and his immortal device, for her master has summoned more than mere men to hunt her down. Yeah, the description sounded like something I could get into, so I was excited to have this just show up in my mailbox. So thank you. This is I got this from Wonderkind PR, and the publisher is Amazon Publishing. Yeah, 47 North, which is, I believe, a division of Amazon Publishing. So that is that one. I got two more very recently. One of them I have posted on my social media. But the other one, and I'm saving that one for last because it is the one I am absolutely the most excited about. But this one sounds really cool too. This is a sci-fi thriller called The Widening Gyre by Michael R. Johnston. 800 years ago, the Zen Empire discovered a broken human colony ship. Given a place to live by the Zen, humans are safe. But it hasn't been easy. Not all Zen were eager to welcome another species, and humans have faced persecution. One of the first humans to be allowed to serve in the Zen military, Tajin Hunt became a war hero, but he failed in a crucial mission and resigned in disgrace. When Tajin discovers his brother has been killed by agents of the Empire, he and his crew set out to finish his brother's quest, to find Earth, the legendary home world of humanity. And I kind of like stuff where Earth is a long forgotten thing, but still might be out there. So that sounded really cool. So I'm hoping I can get to this early this year. This comes out in March. I don't think I'll get to it by March, if I'm being absolutely honest, because of this play I'm directing. My reading's going to be kind of limited, and I already have kind of some plans, which I'll talk about. But I do want to get to this. And now the book that I am the most excited about. It is comes out in April from Flame Tree Press, and it is the new Jonathan Jan's book, The Dark Game. Now, Flame Tree has been releasing his backlist at one a month. In December, it was his first book. I can't think of it. The title is escaping me right now. I apologize. Yeah, my computer's right here. I'm going to look it up. But in January was Savage Species, both of which I pre-ordered on Kindle. And haven't gotten to reading yet, but I am very excited to have his new book. The Sorrows was the one from December. I believe that was his debut. Now this one just sounds so cool. 10 writers are selected for a summer-long reading retreat. Yeah. 10 writers are selected for a summer-long writing retreat with the most celebrated author in the world. Their host is the legendary Roderick Wells, handsome, enigmatic, and talented. Wells promises to teach his pupils about writing, about magic, and about the untapped potential that each of them possesses. The writers think they are signing up for a chance at riches and literary prestige, but they are really entering the twisted imagination of a deranged genius, a lethal contest pitting them against one another in a struggle for their sanity and their lives. They have entered into Roderick Wells's The Dark Game. That sounds so good. I am really excited about this. I can almost guarantee, I don't never fully guarantee, but I can almost guarantee I will have this read by April, and you guys will hear about it by April. Because I'm really excited about it, if you couldn't tell. You guys know Jonathan Janz has become one of my absolute favorite horror authors. And that's the books I've gotten from publishers. I've gotten more on my Kindle. In fact, actually very recently, I picked up some. And that's part of my reading plans. So what I'm currently reading, I have a buddy read going on with Derby from Derby Lane. And that is Amy Tan's The Valley of Amazement. She is far ahead of me on it. I thought it was going to be a good time to start a buddy read. She sent me a message and said, hey, you want to start that buddy read over in the next week? And this was a couple weeks ago. And at the time, I had the auditions for my show, and my show has 4 characters. 5 people showed up to audition. I was hoping for a lot more people at auditions, and I didn't have anybody really who initially came out to audition who could do the main role. Another person was there for a rehearsal and said he'd be willing to help us out. So he ended up reading for the role, and I ended up offering it to him, and then he turned me down, citing work complications. So then I spent the week just maddeningly trying to find somebody who would fit the role and fit good with the other people I cast, but to take the role. And I was just coming across a bunch of I'm interested, but I can't right now. I don't got time, and just no after no after no after no. And I was this close to just taking the role myself. And we did eventually find somebody on that Friday. The auditions were on Monday. We were able to cast it on Friday that week. But then Derby reached out to me during that week and just in that mess and said, "Hey, do you want to start that buddy read?" Because we've been talking about doing this for months. And I'm like, you know what? Yes. I think I'm gonna have some time to start reading coming up, and I think that would be really good for the soul right now. And unfortunately, I am still in chapter 1 of the book. Now, chapter 1 is very long, but I'm still in chapter 1 of the book. I have not gotten as much read as I would have hoped by now. I'm actually hoping to finish chapter 1 finally tonight, and I know she is well ahead of me. And I've also started reading The Rust Maidens by Gwendolyn Kist, and I'll put pictures up, of course, like I usually do. And I started reading that because the preliminary ballot for the Bram Stoker Awards came out the other day. And I, of course, you guys know I am a fan of the Superior Achievement in a First Novel award for that. I may follow the regular novel award, but I don't care about it that much. Mostly because it ends up being a lot of the same year after year. Like, certain people have put out a book, chances are it's going to be on the ballot. Now, this is not the short list. This is the ballot that will be voted on to get to the short list. Essentially the long list, but they don't call it the long list. They call it the preliminary ballot. But the books on the list for first novel are Garden of Blue Roses by Michael Barsa, What Should Be Wild by Julia Fine, which I have coming in the mail tomorrow or Friday, depending. Detroit Metro Airport was shut down last night due to weather, so I don't know what that's going to do to my 2-day shipping. But I do have that one coming. Breaking the World by Jerry Gordon, which I already own. I Am the River by T.E. Grau. The Rust Maidens by Gwendolyn Kiss, which is why I started reading that one. I bought that one on Kindle. Fiction by Ryan Lieski. The Honey Farm by Harriet Alida Lai. The War in the Dark by Nick Setchfield. The Nightmare Room by Chris Sorensen, which I've heard fantastic things about. I actually have read a couple of chapters of it, so I'm now excited to get back to it. I've read a few chapters of Breaking the World by Jerry Gordon too, but that one was only being so-so for me. So that one, I think, if it makes the short list, I'll finish it, but I'm not gonna try and get to it unless it makes the short list. Baby Teeth by Zoji Stage. Zoji or Zoe, it's Z-O-J, I'll put a picture up. And again, that's one I've heard mixed things about, and I'm not sure I'm really that interested in it, but I have a feeling it's going to make the short list, so I'll probably end up reading it if it does. And The Morehouse by Tony Tremblay, and that's Superior Achievement in a First Novel, and that is the award that I am interested in. So I kind of want to try, shortlist comes out in February, so I kind of want to try and read one or two of those before the shortlist comes out and hope that they make the shortlist. There's definitely ones I'm very interested in. Like I said, I bought What Should Be Wild, that's on its way to me. I bought The Rust Maidens and started reading it. I also bought on Kindle The Honey Farm by Harriet Alida Lai, The War in the Dark by Nick Setchfield, and The Morehouse by Tony Tremblay. So I went ahead and bought those. So I guess those are the ones I'm already hoping make the shortlist because I'm already interested in them, and I already have bought them. And The Nightmare Room by Chris Sorensen, I'm really interested in that too, but I already own that. So just to give you perspective, the superior achievement in a novel for the Bram Stoker preliminary ballot is a few non-surprises and a couple ones that are cool to see. The Shape of Water, which is a weird one for me, by Guillermo del Toro and Daniel Kraus, which is, I believe, the novelization of the movie. So that seems kind of weird to have made the ballot. Dark Mary by Paolo di Orazio. I don't know much about that one. The Hunger by Alma Katsu, which I thought was her first novel, but apparently it is not. The Outsider by Stephen King. No surprise there. Stephen King releases a book. It's going to make the Stoker ballot, and it'll probably make the short list. Glimpse by Jonathan Mayberry. Same thing. Jonathan Mayberry really releases a book. It's almost guaranteed to get onto at least the preliminary ballot, if not the short list. Unbury Carol by Josh Mallerman, which I've heard mixed things about that book. Some people really liked it. Some people really did not like it. But Josh Mallerman, he's a hometown boy. He's from Birmingham, Michigan. I believe still lives in Birmingham, Michigan. So part of me's got to root for the Michigan boy. NARAKA by Alessandro Manzetti, which I looked up and it looks kind of interesting, but I don't think it's going to end up making the short list. Hazards of Time Travel by Joyce Carol Oates. That's an interesting one for me to see on the Stoker novel short list or preliminary ballot. So I'm kind of hoping she makes the short list with that one. And I'll talk a little bit about this. Is going to be a long video, guys. Already is. So I kind of hope Joyce Carol Oates makes a shortlist. That would be cool to see. Foe by Ian Reid. Frankenstein in Baghdad, a novel by Ahmed Sadawi. Again, there'll be a picture up here. That is a translated work. I forget who the translator is. I own it, though. But it is a retelling of the Frankenstein story set in Baghdad, current-day Baghdad. Dracul by Dockery Stoker and J.D. Barker. I'm not fully surprised to see that on the preliminary ballot. That is a new kind of Dracula prequel by Dockery Stoker, who is a descendant of Bram Stoker. And it is based around the idea that Stoker was telling a true story. And this is dealing with what happened to Stoker to lead him to write Dracula, I guess. I got an arc of it from Nick Gelly, but I never read it. And The End of the World, Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay, which I'm not surprised to see on the list, but not surprised as Stephen King and Jonathan Mayberry. So, yeah, I mean, some good stuff on the novel, but I'm far more interested in first novel. So, hopefully I can read a few of those before the short list comes out and they end up on the short list, which makes my short list reading shorter, and that is part of my reading goals this year. Is I want to read the Stoker first novel short list, hopefully before the award is announced. Again, my life being kind of busy this first part of the year, I don't know if that's going to happen, but last year I got most of it read after the winner had been announced. I'd like to try and read and guess the winner, or who I think should win. I think that would be cool this year. So some other reading goals. I set my Goodreads goal at 52 books this year. Like I said, this is I'm already at 25 minutes, and this is probably going to be a little bit longer. I just got a lot to catch you guys up on. I want to read more translated fiction. That was a goal last year too, and I failed miserably at it. But there is a lot of translated fiction out there that I'm very interested in, and I just never get to it. So I want to read more translated fiction this year. I want to complete the 2019 Reading Women Challenge, which is the challenge hosted by Kendra Winchester and her friend Autumn, who are the hosts of the Reading Women podcast. And Kendra is a booktuber. I also want to try the Reading Women Challenge. I want to complete. I'm also going to work on the Book Riot Read Harder Challenge again this year. If I complete it, awesome. I would like to complete it one year, but my focus is going to be more the Reading Women Challenge. Speaking of Joyce Carol Oates, I read a short story collection of hers for the Books in the Freezer readathon in October. And she's somebody whose books I have been collecting, and I've not really read that one for the Books in the Freezer podcast was the first one I've read. And I want to read more Joyce Carol Oates. So I want to get into her bibliography this year. Bram Stoker First Novel Award shortlist. I talked about that. I want to try and read less books at a time. That was part of my problem last year. I think I was reading 10, 11 books at a time. Right now, I'm working on 2. A third one may get added, but with my time right now, 2 is plenty. I'd like to be able to work on planning my reading to an extent that comes into keeping more on top of my review copies. I get sent these books by publishers, and I am very grateful to the publishers for sending me these books. And I am horrible at actually getting them read. I'm great at showing them to you guys and telling you guys about them, but I'm not the best at getting them actually read and reviewed, and I need to get better at that. So if I can plan my reading to an extent, I'm never going to be a full, this is my TBR and this is what I'm going to read person. I'm too much of a mood reader for that. But I would like to be able to say, okay, this month I'm going to read these 2 review copies and stick to that. When the Shirley Jackson Award shortlist comes out, I would like to try and read the Shirley Jackson Award shortlist this year. And it's the same way with the Bram Stoker shortlist. Try and get the shortlist read and put in my prediction or who I think should win. Same with the National Book Award shortlist much later in the year. I think that's another award shortlist I would like to try and tackle this year. I know some people like Russell and Ink of Paper Blog, he tackles the long list. Not going to happen for me. But the short list I think might be doable. So, but that's kind of my reading goals. And I made this in December, so I don't know how much I'll stick to some of these, but that is what I made up in December. Channel-wise, I talked about I'm probably going to add a floss tube element of stitching, do some stitching content, and like I said, I will label that clearly. It'll say floss tube number and what floss tube video number it is, and that way the floss tube people will know that's a floss tube video. And booktube, if you're not into the cross stitch stuff, you can just skip that video. That's absolutely perfectly fine. If I do that, I might add stitches to my channel name. I might do eclectic reads and stitches if I do that and I enjoy doing that. But that's just a possibility right now. I am going to try. I do think I am going to try and add the content, but we'll see how that goes. I have written down here shorter videos. That's a nice thought, but it's probably not going to happen. And I put on here 1,000 sub channel, 1,000 sub goal. I was kind of hoping I could be at 600. Just not that having a ton of subs, like, it's not like I do this for the subs, but I do create, I create this content, and I would like to see the channel grow, and those are just like personal markers for channel growth, but I do this for the community, not for the sub count. But any creator wants to see their content and their channel grow. So, but yeah, my videos may be they've always been kind of sporadic, but I'm going to more update when I have things to talk about, when I have things to update on. I am going to do a Book Riot TBR and a Reading Woman Challenge TBR, so that you see what I'm thinking about for that. And other than that, I'm just going to make videos and talk about what I'm reading when I have things to talk about, or when I have books that have come in that to show. And yeah, it's been over a month and a half. I'm back. I'm kind of starting to. I wasn't even watching a lot of BookTube, to be perfectly honest. I was just that burnt out on stuff. But you'll see me starting to comment on videos again. Started watching a little bit more even today. So getting back into the swing of things. So thank you to anybody who's made it to the end of this video. Thanks for sticking with my rambling and my catching up, and I appreciate it. Thank you to all my subscribers. A lot of you are still. I was surprised that my subscriber count hadn't dropped drastically in the time since my last video. So thank you to everybody for sticking with me. I appreciate every single one of you. If you like this video, if you want to see what I've got coming up for the year, then hit the subscribe button. It's probably one of the best ways to make sure you see when I post new videos. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. I'm always trying to get better at content there and posting things on there, but I do always post when I put a new video out on Twitter. So other than that, I will see you all in the next video.